Welcome to 6G Agenda. I'm your host, Andrew, again with my man, Justin Ward on the chords,
Yo.
and we talk about what they want. And welcome to any of our new listeners that we got coming through. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoy yourselves while you're going through our little kind of quickly growing archive of episodes amongst all kinds of topics. Hopefully you find some stuff you're into. Apparently we've been finding a few people that liked it. We got a couple of Apple reviews. We really appreciate my Walter boy came through. He said he found us on William Ramsey's podcast. Appreciate that. And we appreciate that you have hope for humanity, or at least that we can give you a little bit more hope. And that's what we're trying to do. No hopium though, you know what I mean? Because that's how they put you to sleep. So also we had another PH11. 1-1. Yeah, I thought it was, yeah. These men are wise beyond their years. That's an awesome take. You know what I mean? Hey, you said it, not me. I appreciate that though. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's cool to be called wise, you know? So yeah, we stand with you as well at PH11. You know what I'm saying? So OG Tito, I want to get to that. So on Spotify, I really appreciate Let It Go Backwards. She came back through and she gave me some crucial information. We're going to be getting into this in a minute. She said VMAT-2 vaccines, the religious vaccine. So what she's kind of referring to is the VMAT gene. There's a VMAT-2 gene that's in our body, and we're going to get to that. I appreciate that because I missed it. So thank you. And if you all that are listening now haven't checked that out, definitely go listen to our last episode when you can, and you'll understand the context of this. Kat as well. This added to what I was kind of looking into, so I appreciate you. She said she collected stories from Reddit where people felt spiritually dead after the vaccine. After the AstraZeneca trials, several test subjects said that they can't feel God and that they killed God and that their soul is dead. And then, of course, it was blamed on neurological damage. And yeah, I do think there's a spiritual element as well. And we're going to get into that because that's crazy. There's a lot more weight to that than I thought there would be off first glance. So I appreciate your input. This is why we do the shout outs. This can add to the show. Like I mentioned before, please check out our description. We got all of our handles down there, our email. You can access any communication you want with us. We love it, encourage it. And we do have a premium coming down the line. It's going to have 6 perks for you all. We got it figured out. We're thinking a book club for sure. Break down some crazy esoteric occult books, Freemasonic books. We're going to get into it. Also, bonus content, of course, that's kind of goes without saying. We'll be doing live shows with some interaction with you all and merch giveaways and also polls for topic ideas. Hopefully, you guys, we love as much communication as possible. That's why we even thought about an idea of maybe having you as a guest, a listener, once a month, maybe once every other month, we'll do like a lottery style and have somebody come on. Tell me what you're thinking. Because we just like the idea of building the community. So without further ado, hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. We're going to get into the VMAT-2 gene. This is kind of a chill pod. We're going to get into a few other topics, but I do want to go over this before we move on from the last episode's topics. So what is the VMAT-2 gene? It's going to be a nice hard word to say. Vesicular monoamine transporter 2. But essentially it's a protein and it regulates how neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine are stored and released in the brain. In 2004, there was a geneticist and his name was Dean Hamer. He proposed in his book, The God Gene, how faith is hardwired into our genes, that variations in VMAT2 influence a person's spiritual experiences, sense of transcendence, and even the ability to feel connected to something larger than themselves. Now, this touches heavily on Rudolf Steiner. In our last episode, we talked about how, he was channeling some crazy shit, and he foresaw a future where they were going to nail down essentially the gene of our spiritual inclinations. And it looks like that's exactly what they've done in 2004. At least it was announced.
Damn.
Yeah.
What the
And now we live
fuck?
in this. Yeah. And he even mentioned a vaccination as well that would be used. So it's not proof of God, but it does suggest that spirituality might have a biological basis. And of course, it could be suppressed or enhanced chemically if that is the case. And of course, we know Steiner warned about that. So the fun vax controversy, this is what this led me into. So there's something called the fundamentalist vaccine. It's really just called the fun vax. But it was a leaked Pentagon video surfaced that discussed a project named FunVax, fundamentalist vaccine. And in it, a researcher claims that they could suppress extremist religious behavior by targeting the VMAT-2 gene with a viral vector. And this is in 2010. So, I mean, maybe they figured out mRNA might be the one
God
because
damn.
what does the mRNA vaccine do, man?
Yeah, bro.
Dude, thank you so much for this because I really can't believe I missed it. The video's authenticity is debated. I'll put that out there to be objective. But the concept does fit perfectly with what we're kind of talking about. And I do think that there's probably leverage. I mean, there's something there. There's some weight to that. You don't just come up with this shit because we got the God gene, it's proven. Now, the fun vax may not be proven, but it's like, come on. That's kind of the next logical step. If you were to
Right.
be this nefarious, group. So,
Easy to
yeah.
control people.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So the VMAT2 gene is real and it is connected to the spiritual experience that the human body essentially has the ability to feel. And it can be influenced by drugs or genetic interventions. And people are reporting spiritual numbness after certain medical and psychiatric treatments, as do I. I mean, shit. But anyway, which may reflect altered VMAT2 functions. So I kind of thought about it and I was like, well, I was looking into what the chemical is that they used for suppressing the VMAT2 gene. Can
Mm-hmm.
you look up chemical used for suppressing VMAT2 gene? It starts with an R. And they used it in blood pressure medication. And so my first thought was, well, that's kind of odd because every time that people are kind of floating around that average of blood pressure, they say that you have high blood pressure. They kind of change, kind of like we talked about in changing the definitions. They tend to change what is considered high blood pressure. And I thought, oh man, this could be because of the fact that that chemical is in it. Well, they actually took it out recently, reserpine. And this is it's got severe side effects, including depression, Parkinsonism, and it is rarely used today and considered a second line treatment. That's fine. But there's plenty of other ones on here that are FDA approved. Wait, go down. FDA approved for treating. Wait, okay, there it is. Dyskinesia. And it was also approved in 2023 for chorea associated with Huntington's disease.
Also,
So they
this
use
one
multiple
here.
different chemicals that, yeah, that's the one I just read. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I
this
don't know what
one seems to be the same thing.
it is. So is
Yeah.
the one above it. So yeah, wait, FDA approved. Yep.
Yeah.
Literally all the same. That's so crazy. Chorea. So I guess if you don't have Huntington's disease, then you don't have to worry about it being in your medication. But is it in our food? See, because food as a
mm.
biotech or behavioral control vector seems very plausible to me. Sugar and processed foods, high sugar diets, they cause dopamine overstimulation and receptor downregulation. And over time, this can lead to a emotional flatness and reduce the reward system and sensitivity. Kind of like if they say, if you smoke weed every day, you don't enjoy anything.
Right.
Same thing with, well, that's why by the way, that's why that's legal. You know what I mean? Super strong weed that just fucking hits you and you don't even enjoy anything for real. Like, if you think about it, bro, we aren't smoking the kind of weed that people used to. And I think that
Oh.
the weed now is deadening. the ability to enjoy anything. And not only that, it's deadening the imagination that it used to enhance. Like whatever that imagination psychedelic aspect is, it's gone. Or at
I
least
would
it's
agree.
hard to access.
Smoking weed like 10 years ago was the shit, you know what I mean? And then you
Different.
smoke some weed now, maybe get like a little head change, but yeah, it doesn't even feel right. It feels
Yeah.
doesn't feel
You're
authentic.
heavy and groggy and sloth, just
Mm,
it's like we talked about before. That little it feels like something sitting on you, you know?
yeah.
And right whenever, weed kind of became Kush, like, remember back whenever they called it that?
Mm-hmm.
If right whenever that was where it was at before they really started messing with it, that was perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were on the end of that. But anyways, now all of our fans smoke. And whatever, that's fine.
That's
My
okay.
apologies. I don't drink alcohol. I stay away from that shit though. Fuck that. Seed oils cause systematic inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain, impairing neurotransmitter balance. And so possibly it could be messing with this, it definitely messes with your conscious ability to access this realm, I would imagine.
Mm,
And as well as food additives like MSG, aspartame, artificial dyes. They probably definitely they do alter mood and cognition for sure.
yeah.
And of course, heavy metals, topic of the day. Everybody's talking about these.
Mm.
And don't forget, phthalates, BPAs, all the different stuff in our plastics. I mean, it is just everywhere. Now, that just kind of messes with just your overall how you work. But big food and big pharma have been working together, like we talked about last time, with fortified foods, which are RNA based food vaccines. And those are being developed. And those are where I start to worry because they're like, yeah, you could be anti vax. I don't care. We're going to get it in your food. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, we're going to make sure that it
We're
is
gonna
in
get
you.
that shit in you
Yeah.
one way or another, brother.
If we got to hold you down eventually, we will. We may not now, but we're
They're gonna
working on
tie
that.
us
Don't you
down like
worry.
fucking dogs, dude. They're gonna
I
get
forgot
us.
to mention, did I talk about the habeas corpus stuff with Stephen Miller and everything?
Mm-hmm. Jog my memory.
All right, I probably didn't. And I want our listeners to hear this for sure because habeas corpus, there's a video where Stephen Miller was saying that they're looking to suspend it for the illegal immigration problem.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure we did go over this, but
Okay,
yeah,
good. And then it was deleted out of the White House
yeah,
website. They said it was an accident and then it was put back on.
right, right,
Just keep that in mind, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because, he is also sending the National Guard to 19 states right now. So, to do what they're doing
mm,
in DC where they overtake the police.
right,
And then he's also circumventing our constitutional rights by saying we can't burn the flag. Not that I ever would want to, but it's my right as under the Constitution to do so if I did choose. And so now he's actually fucking with the Constitution. This is the totalitarian tiptoe that David Icke talks about.
yeah.
But anyways, I just had to segue off that because it's hard to stay on the topic whenever we have so much crazy current events going on as well. It is getting crazy.
We can get into that in a little bit,
Yeah, for sure.
for
So
sure.
researchers already are experimenting with edible vaccines for bananas, lettuce, tomatoes, genetically modified to carry vaccine proteins. So, in theory, if such foods targeted the VMAT-2 pathways or neurotransmitter related receptors, they definitely could work as a mass distributor for mood spirituality modifiers. And that's what we're driving at right here. That's fucked. And of course, we know fluoride, endocrine disruptors, pineal gland issues, because the pineal gland is known as the seat of the soul within your brain stem. And so if you have an endocrine disruptor, which BPAs, like we mentioned, phthalates, your hormonal balance, which all the things the pineal gland kind of what am I trying to say? All the things that the pineal gland affects, which is serotonin, dopamine, all those things, that kind of is, when it gets dead in your pineal gland, those things kind of get imbalanced.
Mm,
It's very, very tied in with all that. So anyway, the leaked FunVax concept was allegedly delivered via a viral vector, possibly through food, crops, or animals. Of course, there is no proof that this has been done yet, but we do have the technology to do so if they wanted to. That's a fact. So keep that in mind. Just want to go over that real quick. We appreciate your input. I just wanted to really lay that out because it is possible. It is a proven gene within your body that you have. Who knows who put it there? Was it God? Was it biology fucking with fucking with us? Who knows? But all that matters is they have the technology to suppress and alter your mood and spiritual inclinations. And just beware. That's all we're saying. Don't let them kill God. You know? Remember Nishi and whenever Nishi and Alan Watts and all them, they're like, oh, we've killed God. You know, what have we done? Because
Yeah.
they're all philosophers. One of them's a new age philosopher. The other one's like a nihilistic, nothing matters kind of philosopher. And they both tried to kill God in different ways. So you see what I mean whenever I say you'll have a dichotomy with two different things that look like different things, and they're trying to drive towards the same end goal.
Yeah.
They do that with a lot of stuff, everybody. So beware again. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm thinking there's a few things to go over here, man. I'm really excited about a lot of things.
All right.
I've been wanting to go over like the Agenda 2030, Agenda 2021. What was the other one? Agenda 2045, all those things and how they go together with Lockstep, the Club of Rome. I'm sure all my listeners are probably like, yes, do it right now. We are. First, have you guys heard about Peter Thiel and the summit he's about to have on September 14th? Have you heard about this?
No, dude.
Dude, he's going to have a summit. It's going to be 4 parts, essentially, what would you call it? Like seminar about the Antichrist, bro. He's going to be talking about the Antichrist the whole time and how essentially we're kind of preventing it by creating God, is what he's saying. Because he believes that like this AI shit and what we're creating is going to be God. And he even said that the Christians had it wrong, ironically, that God's going to be created in our image and that we weren't created in his. And that's a crazy thing to say. And then you're going to be the guy that's going to talk about what the Antichrist is at some rich people only summit in San Diego. That's outrageous. And by the way, guys, he's not going to let anybody, they're not going to record it. They're not going to release it. So nobody gets to know what's even said. And it's already sold out. It's an event that probably costs like $1,000 per head. And look at this, drinks in small bites. Look, go down the agenda. Drinks in small bites. There's a lecture with Q&A and then Q&A with the audience and then drinks and dessert. So it's obviously like a banquet situation with like rich people attending only. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking weird.
It's September 22nd and 29th. So, oh, and September 15th.
October 6th.
Oh, so it's one seminar he's doing 4 times. So he's got one thing to say. It's not like 4-part, whatever.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wait, no, it
Peter will
says this
draw.
ticket includes
Peter,
all 4 events.
he's going to talk about the Antichrist from religious thinkers like Francis Bacon, the Rosicrucian that wrote the Bible, but he was a Freemason and added all this shit to the Bible that has all the astrotheology added to it so they could discredit God. Oh, yeah, I'm going to believe that. Dude, we're going to have to go over that with the Francis Bacon shit I just mentioned.
Francis Bacon.
Not now, but yeah, dude, that guy, that was Shakespeare, bro. Shakespeare was actually Francis Bacon.
Whoa.
Yeah, he wrote under, he was, so Shakespeare, there's a whole thing. Again, we're not going to get off into this segue. We could talk about Francis Bacon, Shakespeare, and the writing of the King James Bible another time.
I can see why he went by Shakespeare, because Francis Bacon kind of sucks as a name.
Kind of, but also shaking the spear. It's very symbolic for like shaking it. Like, yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
symbolic like at God thing. I forgot off top. Again, I'll do my studies again, and we can do that on here. We might even do it on the book club because that's in the book Secret Teachings of All Ages, and we could break that down out of that book from Manly
Alright.
P. Hall's mouth.
Well, that event's sold out, so can't go,
So I
unfortunately.
wanted to go so that way I could release it to everybody and let them know what kind of fuckery this guy's saying. But of course, it's sold out in every place as soon as everybody finds out. Because again, I don't think he wanted anybody buying it that wasn't like rich and benefiting off of what's coming. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't think he cares about what we have to say or want to see, you know? So that's a crazy thing going on that's going to happen. We also, has anybody seen these crazy radioactive. Well, should we start with the radioactive wasp or the shrimp or
Let's
the
do
things on
the
these animals' heads? I mean, there's some weird shit going on. We might be living on a different planet.
let's go food then aminals.
Now, I'm not gonna like sit on this for a minute, but yeah, dude, there's radioactive shrimp out there. It's kind of fucking wild.
Wicked.
This world's getting saturated with radioactive waste, is all I'm saying. It's
So
crazy.
watch your shrimp.
Crazy. And then they're lying down there saying Cracker Barrel got a glow up. They just had to apologize for their logo because they know it sucks. And they're like, it got a glow up. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because they
They're
went
lying.
minimal and it sucks now. It's fucking
Everybody hates it.
stupid.
Well, dude, you don't take a
There's no
old
dude
tradition.
leaning on the guy on the fucking barrel anymore.
That and they're
Took the
trying to
soul out of
take
it.
the traditional log cabin, like homely style restaurant
Mm.
out and make it into like a first watch or something. Like a like one of those new style breakfast
Yeah,
places,
they
like
need
the
to
Shack.
relax, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I
Keep it old
fucking
school.
yeah, bro. Keep it old school. Like
Keep the wooden floors from the
it's gonna lose
1800s.
its charm if they
Yeah.
try to modernize it or something like that. It's like an old timey thing for a reason, dog.
Yeah, dude. And they got like that syrup that's like too mapley. I don't even like it.
I actually fuck with that shit. It is a little runny,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
We
all
got
right.
some people up in Canada, man. I'd love to try some real Canadian maple syrup. You know what I mean? You can hit
Yeah.
us up on that Gmail. You know, I'll try some out. I don't know.
Look
I don't
us
know what
up.
shipping. I don't know what international shipping's like, but technically it's not even international. You're on the same land. Come on now,
Yeah, dude.
let's go. We got actually a few people in Canada, Australia, the UK. So we're
Shout out.
like more than like a little, you know. So what's up?
Yeah, bro.
Appreciate you guys, you know. So that's crazy. The animal growth's also crazy. But wait, the radioactive wasp, before we get off of the radioactivity, there's also wasps in South Carolina that are radioactive. Imagine getting stung by that, dude.
Yeah. It was found a wasp nest found on a former nuclear bomb production facility.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Fucking
they have
wild.
these. Yeah, they have to have these all over. You know what I mean? Like little
Mm-hmm.
patches of like where they dumped radioactive waste and then, give it 10,
Yeah.
20, 50 years and you got some fucking bee's nest.
Bro, and
They're
these
making
motherfuckers
honey
were
that's like
found in July. I wonder what it's like now.
I wonder if they got rid of them. Oh, official state it poses no health risk, guys.
Oh, good shit.
They always say that, don't they? Don't worry, guys. You're fine. You get
But
stung by one.
meanwhile,
That
they're in
might be
their
a little bit
offices
different.
going, "Yo, what the fuck are we gonna do about these fucking wasps?"
Yeah, because what does that do to the wasp venom? Like if you did get stung by a wasp that was radioactive, that has to fuck with your body.
I would think so.
And
Would
then
you
it's
turn
like in
into
your
Wasp
skin.
Man?
I don't think it's a movie, but something weird's got to happen. Like, I mean, maybe you get cancer right there later, like skin cancer or something.
You
I don't
just
know.
immediately develop a fucking tumor or
That would
some
be nuts.
shit,
Like
dude. That'd be so fucked.
as soon as the sting like heals, you just have a fucking black like cancerous thing in there.
Yeah,
And you're like,
bro.
fuck, dude, I got skin cancer now. You're like, what the hell?
That
That would
fucking
suck.
wasp, dude.
Crazy. So quickly, let's go over these animals. We're doing a chill pod. I want to talk about, this agenda shit,
Oh fuck,
but
dude.
we're kind of in between many topics right now. I got a
Bro,
page full of all these topics I want to go over.
before we move on, that's like The Last of Us, dude.
What
The
is?
fucking that'd be like a Last of Us situation. Like the radioactive wasps go around stinging motherfuckers and they turn into ugly dudes and they try to eat people.
Nuts. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They do have these Lone Star ticks that they say like make you allergic to meat that are like on the rise. And I'm
What
like,
the
I wonder
fuck?
if that, yeah. And I'm like, I wonder if that's on purpose, dude.
Hmm.
Did you guys create these ticks just like you did Lyme disease, where they literally made Lyme disease in a lab and then let it like used it on ticks and like so it could like, transfer it to people
Right.
and then they let them go. This is like it's an alleged story, but I'm thinking it's legit because I think there's some data behind it. I almost want to look it up. It's
The
not that
fucking
serious.
plane full of ticks. They just fucking fly over a city and they're like,
Yeah. Well,
oops.
if you got a lab in the woods and then like two crawl out or something, you're fucked.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
you're over with.
now they're out there, they're procreating, and it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, these Lone Star ticks, apparently, you'll be allergic to meat if you get bit by one of them, and that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
But
dude.
also, it sounds intentional as
It
well.
kind of does. It
Well, they
sounds
don't want you to eat meat. They're like that's the whole climate change
yeah.
argument.
Like what the fucking nature would make you want to do that naturally,
Yeah.
you know?
And originally, the Lone Star tick thing was going to be what kind of segued us into the UN's Agenda 2030 and all that shit, because it's like, oh, you'll eat bugs,
Mm.
you'll own nothing, be happy, all those things that the UN kind of is saying that is the future of what's coming. And I just wonder, it's like, oh, are you trying to force people to like you just make ticks that make people allergic to meat,
Yeah, dude.
just to really just back up your claim. It's
Motherfuckers,
crazy.
bro.
So speaking of this Agenda 2030, we're gonna kind of segue into that a little bit. You guys know, I don't know if you do, but the WEF, there was a woman there that worked there who said you will own nothing and you'll be happy. And Klaus Schwab, who's better known for saying this, he repeated that phrase, and he was the leader of the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Well, during that time, after that famous phrase was said, up until now, 2025, from about 2019 to 2020, because this was COVID, this was the Great Reset. Does anybody remember that? The Great Reset during
Mm.
COVID? Build Back Better, which was done by Biden. And I think that's why the One Big Beautiful Bill is named what it is, because it's an extension of this said Great Reset. So, anyway, what I'm getting at is it was said by the WEF, and BlackRock proceeded to buy up all of the housing and created these bidding wars where people like you and me, if we went up and tried to get a house like we talked about, it would be like 300,000, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody come up buy cash, and then boom, it's gone.
Right.
Well, that same company is now running the WEF. The CEO of that company that was doing that is now running the WEF that said you'll own nothing and be happy. You'll be happy because you're going to rent everything, by the way. If that doesn't like click,
Yeah.
you're going to rent everything. Everything's going to be a subscription. You're going to have your subscription for your subscriptions. It's going to be so crazy. So you're not going to be happy because there's no way you're going to make that much money where you can just afford paying $5,000 for a fucking t-shirt. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, oh, I'm renting this t-shirt every month. I get a t-shirt. I have one t-shirt and I rent it, but I have to pay this subscription forever.
Yeah. And then you see the new houses being built, but they're all for rent.
Right. Yeah. You're going to rent everything.
Yeah.
And rent price is going to be so high and keep going and going up that I just can't see a world where this is not going to lead to a major revolution. But then again, we talk about that shit here about how they've kind of covered for that too. What are you going to do? They're building the camps, they're creating the biometric system.
Yeah.
It's kind of like now or never. Not that I'm trying to incite anything, because I'm not, but I'm just saying. Sorry, I had something in my eye. I'm just saying that whatever, man. You know what I'm saying, listeners out there. You know where I'm getting at. It's fucking freaky. All right. All these fucking boomers, they made like $800,000 on the $20,000 house. They're like, just work more.
Just get a job.
It's hilarious.
Just
It's like,
work
oh,
some more.
I work 2 jobs. I got 2 kids and a podcast. You know what I mean? That's a little bit too much information about my personal life, but just saying, I do a lot of shit, dude, and I still can't keep up.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're over there focusing on that podcast. It's like, well, that's the only fucking thing I actually care about besides my family out of all those things I mentioned. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's like, who are you? What do you do? The least important thing about me is literally what I do for money.
Yeah.
It really is to me. Like the most important thing I do is what I do at home with my family and what I'm very interested in. And that's the research into ancient history, occult teachings, fucking Freemasonry, all of it, the hidden hand,
Yeah.
you know? Speaking of, I saw this thing today where they're like, you get down to the bottom of the conspiracy rabbit hole when you figure out it's all the Jews. I'm like, that's not correct. And I just want to say that I hope that everybody here that's listening knows that that's not correct. It is the banking, Anglo-American banking cabal that hides behind a lot of them. Now, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of fucking Jews, but there's also plenty of Masons. That's kind of like that thing where they do with the Holocaust, where they're like 4 million Jews died. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure like 2 million Jews died, and then the other 2 million were like gypsies and other people, but you're just saying it's all Jews. They do that. They're doing that thing too with that. And it's like, no, no, no. There's people above them that are kind of the ones paying them. Right. And that's who you should be watching. It's the families, the bank owners. So outside of that, sorry for my little segues today. We're just having fun, it's a chill pod. So coming up, I've got some episodes planned. I'm thinking of Pizzagate deep dive. Pizzagate deep dive. We need to do that.
Fuck yeah.
We kind of went over the Jesper thing and didn't even do Pizzagate. Pizzagate deep dive. That needs to happen.
All right.
Mormons. Come on, dude. Gotta talk about the Mormons.
Fucking God. Fucking hate those guys.
Dude. Hey, they said they bring
they're cool. I know some cool Mormons, but like, yo, they're up to some weird shit.
They said that the Antichrist was going to be born in Independence, Missouri. The Mormon, they said that they're going to have the Antichrist and they was going to be born. Like, they literally are saying that their Antichrist is going to be one of them. That's what they said. And then did you know there was a war with the Mormons in Missouri? Like, there was like a whole war with like Missouri and the Mormons, like where like it was a whole thing. We'll get into it, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like my state, so it's nuts. We also got Waco, Ruby Ridge. I'd like to break those down. Whitewater, the Clinton body count. If you don't know what Whitewater is, then that is what the Clintons were doing before they made it into the White House.
Whitewater rafting.
Yeah, we could go with that. We also got the pregnancy robot, which kind of reminds me of clones. So I'd love to do like a clone episode. So you guys let me know about that. And by the way, I'm saying all these so you can put in the comments which one sounds the best. I've also got some mythology breakdown that I'd love to do from the Freemasonic point of view, as well as the Kabbalah. Mound societies. We get back into the megalithic structures a little bit. Serpent mound. Yeah, there's mounds everywhere in the world. We could do that.
We should go.
Dude, we should.
If we do another mound episode, we should go just to get the sense of what the fuck they were doing.
I'd love to do that. Yeah. And this one I'm really excited about, guys. I want to do a Switzerland episode. Nobody's done a Switzerland episode. You know what I mean? They'll do an episode on CERN. They'll do an episode on like the WEF or the Bank of International Settlements, but they don't do it and connect them all together. Like, this is the place that has it all. Like, everybody's there. This is the Illuminati country.
Okay.
So anyways, I'd love to do that. I think that's enough for now that I gave you guys to think about. So you let us know which one you want to hear. I got plenty in order. I'm ready to do it. Also, I didn't even mention this, the telepathy tapes, as far as like what we talked about, where they're trying to like create like autistic kids that, either can see to the other side or easily programmable. Which one is it? Is it that they can see to the other side easier, or is it that they're making them easily programmable? I'd love to uncover what that is.
What if it's both?
Maybe it is. We're going to get into the CIA, like Project Montauk, which is what Stranger Things was about. This new show that I told you about, The Institute, is about the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's a show called OA that's about it. Like, a lot of shows about it. So that's a lot of shit, dude. We got shit coming. I like letting you know what's coming down the line. You guys let me know what you're most excited about. So this episode, we haven't really gone into anything too hardcore yet, have we? We can kind of get into that. So, yeah. I'm wondering if I want to keep this vibe of chilling, or if we should kind of get into this agenda 2030 and shit.
Well, what you got?
Your call, dude. Flip a coin.
Flip a coin, dude. What you got, bro?
All right, let's go. Agenda 2030. I'm sure you guys have probably heard about it if you're listening to this show, because you saw a 6-sheet agenda and you thought, oh man, that's got to be a part of the fucking shit. Yes, it is. Agenda 2030 was adopted in September 2015 by the UN Sustainable Development Summit, or at it rather, and it centers on the 17 development goals. And they cover areas like poverty, hunger, health, education, gender equality, clean energy, climate action, and partnerships for the goals. So partnerships, how we're going to work together to make sure all this shit happens. Countries are expected to adopt these goals into national policies, corporate standards, and financial frameworks.
Excellent.
Don't love that, because when we're talking, let's just look at this from outside in. Climate action. And they're going to back this up with financial frameworks. So are we talking like a carbon tax?
Yeah.
That's the shit I worry about.
Is
Because, you know,
that
if you're being, sorry, go ahead.
no, like it meaning like they're gonna tax what we are, like our carbon emissions or some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, well, you're a carbon being. So as soon as you're born and you
Well,
start,
yeah.
as soon as you're born and you start breathing, you owe money. You
Yeah.
are now a financial slave. I mean, how
Fuck
else
yeah.
could you look at that? I can't see that. I really don't know how you could frame that to be anything else but that, what I just said.
Yeah.
So the measurement is going to be tracked via biometrics, or metrics like environmental, social, and government, carbon footprints, global reporting frameworks. So, like what we just talked about.
Right.
But yeah, the structural element of control is going to be like land and resource management, with a heavy focus on sustainable land use. And sustainable land use means that you could justify restricting private property, framing farming methods, and resource extractions.
Mm,
So they're just going to have full control over everything you do on your land.
right.
It's a beautiful and when you read the agenda 2030, they frame it in a way where they're like, we just want to make sure that nobody's in poverty. We want to make sure everybody has equal access to all of the perks of life. But really, it's kind of like, we are going to lock down everything,
Yeah.
and then everybody's going to get equally everything, and it's not going to be much, you know? And that's kind of what it seems like, more than the other way. So digital identity and surveillance, as we talk about all the time, leave no one behind is a quote that they use. It's a motto. Requiring see, don't you love that? Leave no one behind.
Yeah,
We have to
man.
make sure you have all of your biometric universal digital identity in our records. Like, you got to be, hey, we don't want to leave you behind.
Hey.
It's almost like if you're trying to kill yourself and somebody's forcing you not to, and you're like, no, listen, like, you don't understand. I have no arms or legs. Like, you know, my family's gone. And they're just like, no, you have to suffer.
Yeah.
You know, like, that seems like what it is.
Pretty much.
It reminds me, Bill Cooper, he said that he read a quote and he said, you won't be allowed to be poor in the world they're creating. And that might sound good at first, but when you really think about that, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's a fucking wild way to say a weird thing.
We're all gonna be. It's gonna be like a fucking big ass fucking prison that we're all gonna be wardened around. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I think that they do have to keep some kind of bread and circus, kind of like we have now. You know, plug and be. I don't know what it will be. I mean, we're gonna get into the 2045 initiative, which
Mm.
is a whole thing about how people will live forever by plugging themselves into computers, fully matrix shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So smart cities, Internet of Things is another huge goal in the Agenda 2030. And it envisions heavily networked cities with the Internet of Things and 6G infrastructure. This is the 6G agenda right here,
Mm-hmm.
where mobility, energy, and food systems are all monitored and rationed, most importantly. This coincides with 15-minute cities planning and AI managed urban grids. So, hey, you live a little too far from the grid, man. We're going to move everybody out from out far and bring them into the 15-minute cities.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Well, you destroy any income abilities out in those areas. You also overregulate farming, and all the things we mentioned in the beginning, to create this system where they have no choice but to then go to the
Yeah.
15-minute city. It's fucking crazy.
It is kind of wild.
And you can see now why it is this totalitarian tiptoe, because if you were to do this overnight, it would never work. You do kind of have to do the slow drip, get people used to this regulation, then do another.
Yeah.
Get people used to you can't burn the flag, then we'll do the next thing. You know what I mean? Then
Right.
we'll take the guns away, you know? Then we'll take your First Amendment away altogether, you know?
Yep.
And I do want to back up a little from that last episode where I mentioned we should just get rid of the 14th Amendment. I don't mean that, but there is a lot of people who have advocated for uh, heavy amendment change. I would support that. Just want to clarify so everybody knows that I'm not as radical as it seems from that episode, because I definitely thought about it. I was like, maybe not the best choice, because there's a lot of protections within the 14th Amendment, so you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. So yeah,
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify that, because I may have lost some people by saying that, and they may have been like, "Dude, come on," and I get it. I agree. That was stupid. But also, who let them fucking write that in the first place? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who let them do that? Like, in the way that they wrote it, where they were able to put so much protection with so much stealing of your liberties. So Agenda 2021 would be in 1992, which is kind of where a lot of this started, talking about sustainable development. You also had the Club of Rome, which limited growth. They wanted to pretty much reduce the population. This was in the 1970s. And then, of course, Technocracy Incorporated also had early visions of replacing markets with resource and energy accounting, very similar to the SDG monitoring today. And of course, technocrat grandson, Elon Musk, is at the head of the hall for this agenda.
Oh yeah.
So you have sovereignty versus global governance, which is obviously the rock and a hard place that we are, well, not rock and hard, but the obvious place that we are kind of pushing at with talking about this. The UN is not elected by citizens, but creates frameworks that shape national laws and corporate policies. And by embedding Agenda 2030 into treaties, trade deals, and investment standards, countries become bound to global rules. And critics see this as a soft form of world government, as well as me.
Mm.
Agenda 2030, in a broader pattern, as we mentioned, when you look at the World Economic Forum's Great Reset, Build Back Better, Paris Climate Agreement with carbon credit markets, that's where this carbon tax kind of idea started coming from. Elon Musk also said he wanted to instill a carbon credit when he was on Joe Rogan. I remember hearing that. My ears perked up, because I was like, whoa, I liked everything this guy said until right now. And that was back whenever he was saying we have to join the AI because he's scared of it. He was saying that it could take over, so we have to like join it.
Yeah.
But now he's like all for it. So
Yeah,
with the
he's like posting videos of uh anime chicks dancing with his AI on his X profile.
You saw that he said it's gonna one shot the limbic system and get people to all start having kids again,
Yeah, he's
because
been
it's gonna
going
like
crazy on there, dude.
yeah, I couldn't believe he said that. I was like, dude, all right. So the Club of Rome, we should go into what that is. 1968, it was a uh pretty much global think tank of business leaders, scientists, and politicians. And their limits to growth argued that unchecked population and industrial growth would cause ecological collapse. And they proposed global management of resources, laying ideological groundwork for sustainability agendas.
Mm.
So, planetary problems require planetary governance. This is whenever this was kind of started to be pushed. So, then you had 1987, 17 years later, the Brundtland Report. It was published by the World Commissions of Environment and Development, chaired by Harlem Brundtland, but essentially it introduced a famous definition of sustainable development: meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That sounds familiar, because we're talking the 80s. This is when Reagan was talking about thinking of the future generations.
Right.
This is when this started, right? I wasn't even alive, and I know he was talking about that, because I do my fucking research. I do my history, dude. So it called for integration of environment economy, and society into one government framework. So this was the intellectual foundation for Agenda 21. And that was a non binding UN action plan adopted by 178 governments. They divided it into 40 chapters covering population control, land use, energy, agriculture, waste, and technology. This encouraged global local integration. So think global, act local. Essentially, like we've talked about before, I think. Let's put this into let's be realistic. Think global, act local. But what they've been doing is kind of pushing it onto us, saying your car is the reason why the meat you eat is the problem, and it has nothing to do with the pollution that the military causes or the oil and everything else.
Yeah.
And when you looked at like a pie chart, all the stuff that all of the citizens are in charge of when it comes to carbon is like a 30% slice of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
So even if all of us went to zero carbon, it would still, in their own words, lead us to a ecological collapse if that was true. I don't believe it's true that we're heading to an ecological collapse. I think that this is a part of this agenda. So it established the principle of stakeholder governance, and critics called it a roadmap for top-down resource control and urbanization. So in 2000, after this, the UN Millennium Development Goals was a precursor to Agenda 2030 and essentially just focused on poverty reduction, universal education, gender equality, child health, maternal health, disease reduction, and environmental. Dude, I don't like any of this, bro. Because when you look
Mm-hmm.
at it from the frame I'm looking at it from, I'm thinking, wow, makes sense because of our education has went terribly down since 2000. Universal education is, I mean, we're still way under. Gender equality that since 2000 has turned into probably one of the most divisive um, topics you could talk about.
Yeah.
Child health, another one that goes right into the same category with the, hormone blockers. Maternal health seems like a lot more women have less ability and less fertility and a lot of more cancer in the uterus. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. It seems like if you were going to focus on it and then you look at what's happened since 2000 and everything rises in the bad way, then I guess that's your focus. I don't know how else to look at it.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the smartest people in the world that created this shit, the scientists, politicians, all this shit, business leaders, they got some power, man. I mean, I feel like they should know what they're, yeah, they should know how to help in a good way sometimes. It seems like they never do.
It seems like they're always, I don't know, they're already wealthy, but it seems like they're bought in some way or shape, like in some way, you know?
Ideologically bought, probably by these dark entities. Or if not, then it's 100% just greed, power, and the inability to like stop chasing more.
Yeah.
It's the only other thing it could be.
Definitely that, the ambition part, you know?
It's definitely part of it,
Yeah.
yes. In 2010, so we're going chronologically, you may have heard of the Lockstep Report by the Rockefeller Foundation. This was a pretty popular one amongst the conspirators or conspiracy people. We're not the conspirators. But anyway, the scenarios for the future of technology and international development was presented in this document. And it was describes a future pandemic. Keep that in mind. It's 2010, talking about a future pandemic leading to strict top-down government control, mandatory tech monitoring, biometric surveillance, travel restrictions, and a loss of sovereignty in favor of global coordination. I believe this lockstep just told the future, and that's where we are right now. The pandemic is past. It's been 5 years. The surveillance aspect of everything is very much here.
Yeah.
Mexico has made it mandatory biometric surveillance. Yeah, it's crazy.
That is fucking wicked.
It predicted a world where people would trade freedom for safety and technologies become tools of authoritarian governance, which is exactly what we are trying to push here that they're doing. So, Agenda 2030, that leads us to that. It was adopted in the UN summit in New York. 169 targets to be achieved by 2030. Unlike Agenda 21, it is universal. All nations accepted it, comply, not just developing ones. Expected to comply. They didn't all accept. And I think Maduro, hint, hint, Maduro in Venezuela might be one of them that did not accept this. That's probably why we have warships outside of there, besides the fact that we want his oil. He's got the most oil in South America. So, stronger integration of digital systems, climate agreements, and financial reforms. The model is, oh, they use the same motto. Oh, wait, no, that's just because I reread the same agenda. So, the Great Reset, we kind of went over that. That is kind of the next thing, the integration of AI, Internet of Things, 5G, 6G, and the fourth industrial revolution, which is the 6G agenda. Seen as an economic engine driving Agenda 2030 forward, which is exactly what it was, held by BlackRock, and now they run the WEF, and we are headed right into it.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the digital infrastructure rollout, CBDCs, digital IDs, smart cities, ESG tracking. This all aligns with the 2030 milestones. And that's why RFK is up there saying you're going to all wear wearables. That's why the real ID is mandatory right now. That's why we are going to have AI databases everywhere. I mean, dude, there's so many things that it's right cool. The fuck now, dude. So that's the flow, man. I mean, that's all of them in order. But we do have one that we haven't heard much about. If you kind of are out there, I mean, I just heard about this recently. It's Agenda 2045.
What is it, a backup?
Well, in 2020, the UN launched its UN 75 initiative, marking the 75th anniversary of the UN. And on this anniversary, they put forward a forward-looking vision, a document referred to sometimes as Agenda 2045. And the core themes of this is a strengthened UN functioning mostly like a world government, climate neutrality, and net zero carbon globally, which is like, how are you going to achieve that?
Yeah.
Peace and security through collective management, a digital economy integrated worldwide, and equity between nations through global wealth distribution. Again, this is a socialist, totalitarian, one world government that we are going to see. Bill Cooper said this in the 90s. They now say they want a world government with peace and security through equality between nations through wealth distribution.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that guy knew what he was talking about, dude. R.I.P.
He was on
Bill.
some shit, bro.
R.I.P. Bill. Damn, that sucks, dude.
Damn. Imagine how much more shit.
Well, there's another thing that we haven't got to. But no, go ahead. Imagine how much more shit he knew.
Yeah, like imagine how much more shit that he would have fucking talked about, and then we would have more context or like have more hints on what's actually going on.
I know, dude. There's actually I learned that there's like a chapter or two that was taken out of his book. So you have to get a certain edition of his book to be able to see. But I found, for my listeners, if you're interested, Behold a Pale Horse. You can find the PDF online, and you could find the old edition, the original edition. You'd have to read it on the Internet Archive, but it's accessible. And within that document is his writing about the elders of Zion, the learned elders of Zion. Okay, the protocols of Zion actually is what it's called. Now, I want to do an episode on this sometime. We're not going to do it today. If you don't know what the protocols of Zion is and you look it up, it's going to say it's a plagiar. It's a forgery. It's a fake document. But there's a lot of context behind that, and I'd love to break that down another time. It is way too much to do now. So yeah, protocols of Zion. Look it up. Look at it as if it wasn't a forgery, and then imagine that the people who wrote it were actually the people that were doing it, and then they discredited it so that way you wouldn't believe that that's really being done. That's how you should read it.
Yep.
So go read that, and then we'll get into an episode about it another time. Because I wanted to talk about the 2045 initiative, which was put forth by a Russian Dmitry Itskov, billionaire entrepreneur. It was launched in 2011, and this project explicitly ties into our transhumanist agenda.
Wait.
So the phase, yeah, 100%. So the phases are in 2015 to 2020, human-like avatar controlled by brain-computer interfaces. 2020, 2025, avatars with transplanted human brains. 2030 to 2035, a full mind upload into artificial carriers. These are the goals. These are the
Sweet.
goals that they want to do. Okay. And then, of course, the 2045 holographic or non biological bodies, digital immortality, the end goal of the 2045 initiative. Damn,
Wow.
son. What the fuck are they doing, dude? And it's backed by figures in Silicon Valley, DARPA projects, and futurists like Ray Kurzweil.
It's
People
a
have heard
name.
that name, right? It connects directly to the UN's digital identity for all and the WEF's fourth industrial revolution. I looked up to see who might be involved. We might be able to get to that as well. This is on I got some tabs open. We can go through that. And I'll tell you what, because I didn't quite finish all the research on it. So I'm like, this is a whole thing. The 2045 one, I might just do a whole episode on. So we're going to give you a brief overview of this one because, damn, this might be the one.
Yeah, dude.
Governance, the UN has central authority by 2045. Sovereignty diminished, replaced. The economy would be a complete shift from fossil fuels to renewable and nuclear AI managed grid. Universal digital currencies tied to carbon allowances and social credits. And the end of traditional nation state warfare, it's going to be replaced with AI managed global security. And AI can be the scapegoat for everything good or bad that happens. Won't that be great?
That'll
And we
be
can just
awesome.
blame or praise AI for everything that happens. So we can never, so no person is ever actually going to be charged or in trouble again for doing any of this shit that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is kind of what it seems. So yeah, that transhumanist agenda is the most important part. It's the transformation into a human biological cyborg, you know?
Yeah.
Concepts like digital twins, synthetic biology, and mind uploading. That's all the stuff that we did talk about that recently, the digital twin shit. So crazy. So crazy. So yeah, this would be the end of humanity as we know it for sure if that was gonna happen. They would become AI augmented like cyborgs, and then regular people would just be obsolete. Not only obsolete, I believe that they would probably have a supremacy aspect to them and then kill everybody that
I
was
believe
normal.
so. I
Yeah.
believe so. I think they would view themselves as higher, like
Oh yeah.
higher on the food chain a little bit for sure.
Yeah. And so when Peter Thiel talks about he's gonna, he backs this type of shit up, right? And so when Peter Thiel says he's gonna go present the Antichrist seminar, and then he was just in an interview where he said he's trying to prevent the Antichrist, but in the same interview he couldn't answer the question when he was asked if humans should move on as
Right.
humans.
He
That
said he
tells
was
you
like,
what
"Oh,
the
it's
fuck
a complicated answer."
that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
It really does. So whenever I looked up the Brain Initiative, I looked that up, right? Remember we talked about the Brain Initiative in the last episode?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's got to be some kind of connection, maybe through what they're trying to accomplish, at least, because it seems like they're very closely the same. And of course, the first thing it said was, this is a conspiracy theory, which I thought was weird. That means some other people have looked into it or they preemptively labeled this as a conspiracy theory if somebody was to look it up
Yeah.
in the way I did,
Right.
which is crazy. So the Brain Initiative, like we talked about, create a comprehensive dynamic picture of the human brain so they can connect it to it. And then the purpose of the 2045 is a cybernetic immortality where you connect your brain to it. So I just can't see how that's just a conspiracy theory. Okay. It's always a conspiracy theory until it happens.
Everything's a conspiracy theory until shit fucking hits the fan, and then they're like, "Oh,
Our
you
buddy
guys were
calls it
right."
our buddy calls it spoiler alerts.
Huh.
Who is shit. He just gave us the review. What was his name? Fuck. It's probably not his real name, so I don't feel that bad. But Walter, right?
My
Was it
Walter
Walter?
boy.
Yeah, Walter. Okay. Walter, yeah. Walter, dude, you're right, man. It really is spoiler alerts. It's like if you want to know what's gonna happen in the future, just go listen to a conspiracy theorist now, and then sit back and wait.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Cause I talk my shit. People call me crazy. I'm like, just watch, motherfucker.
Justin's
Just
starting to talk.
watch.
Justin's starting to talk his shit, guys.
I
You see
only
that?
do it a little bit though, cause like I learned my lesson one time, and that's all it took. I
Yeah.
start to see people's faces, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay,
I know.
yeah,
It's like, all right.
okay, for sure." And I'm like, "All right, I'm done. I'm fucking done with
Yeah.
you."
They don't want to hear it.
But once
I'm lucky
motherfuckers
enough
like
to
to,
have a.
they open that can, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna spill these
I'm lucky enough.
beans.
I'm lucky enough to have a couple people who will talk about it, and I humbly believe that it's the way that I presented multiple types of information to them, where they
Mm,
started to think about it and be like, all right, maybe.
yeah,
Now, there's some people I haven't cracked. Don't get me wrong. Some people you just can't crack, bro.
dude. Yeah, there are
You
some
can't
people that
crack
do
them.
just
If you hit them upside the head with a baseball bat, you
yeah,
wouldn't crack them, dude.
they just
It's
do
it's
not
crazy.
give a fuck.
They just want to be like they want to be comfortable. They're like,
Ignorance is
stop making me
bliss.
uncomfortable. I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable right now. Oh my god. It's like, okay, whatever, pussy.
All right, dude.
So yeah, we've had a few articles that have came out. Experts claim humans will achieve immortality by 2030. That is January 30th of 2025 this year article. So I mean this goes back to 2012 though. Human immortality in 33 years. So they wanted to. I mean, we're definitely working on it just as much as Dimitri is.
Yeah.
And I think our accelerationist friends like Curtis Yarvin, Peter Thiel, the vampire, and Elon, they're definitely working
Elon
towards it as
Dusk.
well. Yeah, dude. Old Dusty. Real shit. Damn, I had something else I was gonna say, but it's probably not that important. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. We're just kind of chilling, talked about a lot of shit. Before we go, have you guys been seeing these fucking animals, dude? What the hell's going on? These animals got tentacles on their heads. They got black spots all over. They got what's happening right now? Does anybody know what this is? Justin, I think, is putting it on your screen. If you don't see it,
Mm.
we'll go back through the pictures again. Guys, I don't want to hear what the fucking AI overview has to tell me. It's the
Papilloma
human.
virus, though. It's
It's
what it
yeah.
says
It's
for all of them.
instead of HPV, they pretty much have HPV for fucking or just they just have PV because they're not humans. So that's sick. But yeah, dude, look at these rabbits with tentacles coming out of their face.
Yeah. Fucking
Who's giving
Blackbeard over
these?
here.
Who's fucking these rabbits? Somebody's got PV, bro, and
Look at
they're
this
out
poor
there
guy.
just. God damn. So between the radioactive animals and the other ones walking around like this, dude, these could be growths that are caused from fucking 5G or
It's
something.
fucking
Dude.
AI, dude.
Could be 5G or something, you
Look
know?
at this fucker. Pretty shitty picture, but
Maybe they're putting out 6G in a couple places and this is what's doing it. Oh, dude, hold on, guys. Do you guys want to hear my theory? It's a theory. I swear to God, I'm just making this up as I go right now. From now on, it's just me talking shit right now. Okay, so I know somebody who works in Minnesota and they're creating a meta data plant. It's fucking huge. Okay.
yeah.
Meta AI from like
Right,
Mark
right.
Zuckerberg and all that. Okay. Do you think they got some 6G, whatever the fuck, crazy electronic technology up there? And because those rabbits with the tentacles or whatever, those were found in Minnesota. I wonder if it was anywhere near there. Probably not. I'm stretching. I'm definitely reaching. But why not? Let's have fun.
I mean, I know these motherfuckers have been. I think that's been a thing for quite a while, but I don't know. It could be Could be some sort of relation there with them being so long. It looks like that motherfucker had a beard.
It almost seems like something is making it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's been around a while, but it seems like it's more prevalent in more animals.
Yeah.
Papillomavirus, that's caused by a parasite. We've talked about digital parasites or even things that could be amplified through electronic radio waves, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not ruling it out of the possibility, dude. We live in a crazy world, man.
Some random shit could be getting on the stuff that they're eating.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, they're near the 2025 version of Montauk or whatever the fuck, where they're doing some crazy experiments and shit,
I'm sure there's actually probably a clear explanation online of what that shit is, but
There always is.
I'll
But how
do this
many
shit.
times
I like to theorize.
there always is, but how many times is those clear answers true?
Yeah,
You know what I
dude.
mean? Like,
Fuck that.
we uncover bullshit every episode. So
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just gonna believe them about this.
It's the 6G, the fucking gays. They're fucking out here getting these
Dude.
rabbits, making them with beards
Oh
now.
my god, dude. They are turning the frogs gay. They're turning the rabbits gay.
Dude, they're turning the animals gay.
Alex Jones had one thing right, and that's that they're turning the frogs gay.
Dude.
That's about it. That's about it, bro.
They
Sorry.
fucking
And
had
the
that shit
globalist.
right.
He had the globalist nailed, but I don't think that's a hard one to guess. I mean, that's one that everybody's got. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you're not really that unique saying that one. All right, I'm not going to rail on him. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of 6G Agenda. Make sure to give us a nice review like our buddies just did, and comment. Let us know what kind of, I give you a lot of topic ideas. I'd love to get your input. Otherwise, I'll pull the trigger on my favorite. We'll see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed.